What's up guys, my name is Fran and welcome back to the channel. So like I said, we're going to be doing much more videos here on the channel, and in today's video I want to show you guys this guy right here. This is my all new MacBook Air.
Yeah, said your voice is mine. Oh yeah, said your voice is mine.
So Apple ended up having an event here in New York City, and they ended up updating a couple of the products in their lineup. One thing they updated was the all new Mac Mini. I can't wait to get my hands on one of those. They upgraded the MacBook Pro. I feel like there's one more thing missing. But then they also updated this guy here. This is the MacBook Air. So what I've done is actually gone out and picked up one of these things. I'm going to unbox it, sort of show you guys the differences between this, the 15-inch MacBook Pro, as well as the old MacBook Air, the last generation of it. And then we're going to go ahead and do a couple of performance tests. All right, so since it's legit my first time actually unboxing this thing and taking a look, I want to compare it really quickly to the last generation MacBook Air. So when you kind of look at them together, if the thing focuses, this one is definitely a lot lighter and thinner, so you can kind of fit it on top of the same profile. And when you look at the two, like so, let's see if this focuses. There you go. You can kind of see it's definitely a lot smaller and a lot lighter. I'll probably throw in some B-roll of the two comparing them. But yeah, it's definitely a lot smaller. And as far as the I/O, it's only gonna have these two Thunderbolt 3 ports, so there's none on this side, but you are going to still retain that 3.5 millimeter headphone jack on that side. So it's very similar. You know, this one obviously still had the MagSafe 2. It has a 3.5 millimeter jack, and it still had the SD card, so they did end up taking that out. I wish they would just stick that back in, but whatever, it's Apple. And then when comparing it to the 15-inch MacBook Pro, again, I'll probably do some B-roll. This is probably bad. But yeah, you can kind of see it definitely is thinner, and it's for sure gonna, you know, take up a smaller profile when it comes to those two. So even though this isn't exactly a performance computer, most likely this is going to be purchased by students who are just looking to type up some work or you know, do some school assignments, or people who work at a company, and this will be deployed by the IT department for simple things like, you know, typing up some spreadsheets, or just maybe some word processing, browsing the internet, etc., etc. We're still going to run a little bit of performance tests versus last generation's MacBook Pro, as well as last generation's MacBook Air, just to see how it sort of stacks up. Okay, and we're back. So obviously it is now nighttime. It's no longer daytime. That's because I pretty much was working on this all day. Someone happened to spill some liquid on my last generation MacBook Air, so that isn't working, unfortunately. However, I still did want to talk about this machine because, to be honest with you, this isn't really a performance machine. It's more of a consumer-based, student kind of based machine. So honestly, performance stats don't matter that much, but kind of looking around the internet or just pretty much using a prediction, yeah, this one's going to be a little bit faster. And if it's not faster, it has a newer generation Intel processor, so it's most likely going to have better battery life. But even though we're not able to actually have the comparison stats, I'll just give you guys the Geekbench as well as the Cinebench scores. So in Geekbench, it scored 4,322 for its single core, and for its multi-core, we got 7,920. And for in Cinebench R15, we got 284 for the CPU. Now, obviously, compared to something like the last generation 15-inch MacBook Pro, or even my i9 MacBook Pro, those things blow it out the water. But as they should. I mean, they cost more than double the price of this particular machine here, and they're not targeting the same exact audience. Okay, so now that we've sort of gotten past the performance of it, let's talk about the actual machine itself. So the new Retina MacBook Air is sporting the all-new Apple keyboard, the Generation 2. So this one is still super flat and small, but it's a lot quieter than the previous generation MacBook Pro, as well as the other one. So this one has the new keyboard, so you're going to notice it's going to be a lot less intrusive when you're doing any type of typing. You won't be annoying everybody in the office or in the library or wherever you might be using this. It also is now sporting a Touch ID sensor. So I'm so happy Apple didn't put the entire touch bar inside this machine. They just put the Touch ID sensor, and that is fantastic. I hate the touch bar. I can't say that enough. I said it in my 15-inch MacBook Pro review, and I'll say it again. Don't like the touch bar. But however, I do really like Touch ID. And that's one fantastic feature I'm actually happy they added to this particular machine. Now, also having the all-new Retina display on the MacBook Air is a nice and welcome touch. It's something I'm very much used to from the MacBook Pro series, as well as the 13-inch MacBook Pro Pro. So it is really nice to finally see it here in the MacBook Air, and it really just makes the MacBook Air sort of fit in with the rest of the MacBook family. It's also really nice to see the MacBook Air in my favorite color, space gray. This is one of the best colors Apple makes. I don't even know why they even bother with the silver anymore. Just stick with space gray, it's the best one. Okay, so it's thinner and lighter than the previous generation, and it sort of reminds me of the entry-level 13-inch MacBook Pro, the one that doesn't come with the touch bar. That one also only has two USB-C/Thunderbolt 3 ports and one 3.5mm jack. So where does this computer exactly stand? So as mine was configured at the base configuration, it had 8 gigabytes of memory, a 256 gigabyte SSD, as well as a 1.6 gigahertz Intel processor, which is clocked a little bit lower than the entry-level 15-inch MacBook Pro, or excuse me, 13-inch MacBook Pro, but at around the same price tag. So why would anyone go for the MacBook Air over that one? That's sort of a question I wanted to ask. And then also, when you look at something a little bit smaller, if you're looking for something a little bit smaller and lighter than the 13-inch MacBook Pro, you might consider this, but then you can also consider the 12-inch MacBook. Now that machine, once again, around the similar configuration, even though I know it is a Core M processor, which is a fanless design, which is more susceptible to thermal throttling, it still performs really well for more day-to-day tasks that you can probably get done with this same machine here. So where does this computer kind of stand? Well, I definitely would say right in the middle. It's more small and compact than the 13-inch MacBook Pro, well, though I'd only say by a little bit, and it's going to be faster than the 12-inch MacBook, which probably is its little brother, and a lot of the design inspirations has sort of come into. To be honest with you, I'm a little bit confused as to why Apple even still continues to make this machine. I mean, honestly, I thought they were going to go ahead and discontinue it, but they obviously didn't. And I think that's because it's probably one of the most popular machines in their entire lineup. Everybody goes for MacBook Air as their first MacBook as of right now. So that's probably why they decided to completely refresh it. And don't get me wrong, it's not a bad machine. Just a little bit confusing looking at the rest of their lineup, why they continue to make the MacBook Air. So I am going to wrap this video up right here, but I wanted to know your guys' thoughts and opinions on the 13-inch MacBook Air Retina. Why do you think Apple introduced this machine to the market? I mean, does it really have a place? Let me know down in the comment section below, because I'm genuinely confused. But that's it. Once again, guys, my name is Fran. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Thanks for checking it out. If you like these kind of videos, don't forget to hit the subscribe button below for more awesome tech content. Once again, guys, my name is Fran. Thanks for checking out this video, and I'll see you guys in my next one.